Ladies and gentlemen, hope you all are having a happy and healthy new year after a joyous holiday season. After about a month hiatus, we're back, and certainly in 2021, we've hit the ground running. There has really just been no shortage of news every day, has just had so many things to talk about. I mean, just really, if we focused on the first probably 3 days of 21, maybe 4 days, I mean, we could be here for a couple hours, but we have our usual 30 minutes, and we're going to enlighten you on the latest and greatest in Hudson County news as always. So, first of all, there's been significant developments in the 2021 Jersey City municipal elections, specifically the mayoral contest. Last week, Mayor Stephen Fulop's team announced that they're adding the Hudson County Democratic Organization Chair, Amy DeGees, to their ticket. She will be running council at large, and she's replacing at-large Councilman Rolando Lavarro, who ran with Mayor Fulop twice in 2013, back when he was still the Ward E councilman, and then again for re-election in 2017. Lavarro is a long-rumored mayoral challenger, but he hasn't made any announcements yet about this upcoming November. Also in that race, we saw the congressman of the 8th District, that's Albio Series, putting his endorsement behind the Team Fulop banner. And, it's awfully early. We're 10 months out. And to get that endorsement is certainly a bolster for that entire campaign. And with that, we're just waiting for one more candidate to be named. Who will challenge Ward E Councilman James Solomon is yet to be seen, but I imagine that will come out in short order. In other news, we also heard about additional COVID-19 relief coming the way of Jersey City residents. $2.5 million has been allocated to give households $1,500 apiece for rent relief as well as utility relief. Another thing, of course, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. The COVID-19 vaccination site will be launched in Jersey City after a successful council vote last night by 8-1, with Councilman at Large Rolando Lavarro voting against it. Today, I'm going to be joined by the Hudson Media Group producer, host, and owner, Pat O'Melia. But first, we're going to have a word from our sponsors.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning, life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers the quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to newportnj.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
Hudson County View, live and uncut, John Arhitis. And as I just mentioned, I'm joined with the Hudson Media Group owner, producer, and host, Pat O'Mealia. Pat, it's always a pleasure to be here with you.
Good to be. I was available. What are we talking about? What's going on? Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. What's up?
Yes, so, listen, Pat, obviously there's no shortage of topics locally, and but all politics is local, as we've heard often. And, of course, last Wednesday, this whole riot, the protest, the insurrection, whatever you want to call it in D.C., has led to some local responses. I mean, we saw Congressman Siri talking about Trump needing to be removed since he incited violence at the Capitol. You know, he voted for the 25th Amendment to be invoked, and he also voted for the impeachment. And we also saw a resolution in front of the Jersey City Council which passed 801 with Rich Baggiano, the Ward C rep, as you obviously know, abstaining. And he's taken a lot of heat on social media for not voting yes on this. So what's your take on this whole matter and how it pertains to the local politics?
He's gone next week.
Trump, that is.
Trump, he's gone. So why are we gonna go through all the maneuvers here, all the expense for a guy that's out of office in a week? And, you know, from what I understand, can you prove that he incited this? He said march on the Capitol. He didn't say break the windows and riot at the Capitol. So, yeah, it's gonna play out in the Washington after the inauguration, and they're gonna have to present some evidence saying this is what President Trump did. He said this. You're not gonna see where he said go riot or go attack people. So we'll see what happens. You know, what's this, the third time he's been impeached?
Second.
I don't know, wasn't it something like after the first month he was in office?
Yeah,
There was some kind of an impeachment movement there also?
There was chatter, but it didn't happen. So this is the second impeachment, the first time a president to be impeached twice by the House.
He's gone. He's gone after next week.
Right.
He's in the rearview mirror. Will he ever run again? 4 years is a long time in politics, and what is Trump? He's in his 70s or something like that? So that's something to worry about 4 years from now. But do we need to go through all the theater of this? We got a country to lead. Let's go to the business at hand, the work of the people. I'm not going to concentrate on Trump. Now listen, Trump's going to, for the rest of his life, he'll be fighting lawsuits. He's not going to have a comfortable retirement. It's not going to be like it was with Nixon, when Nixon resigned. It's going to be totally different for Trump. New York State will be after him. Florida will be after him. Everybody's going to be after him.
Yeah, I mean, it seems fair to say there's going to be quite a bit of, legal troubles in short order, right?
He'll be busy. I don't know if he'll ever get back on social media, but that's kind of scary too. They can just kick you off social media, or off Twitter, or off YouTube, or off Instagram, Facebook. Kick you off in a heartbeat.
I mean, look,
They kicked the New York Post off a few months ago.
Right. I mean, look, they said there's strict terms of service, and anyone who violates the service gets banned, and they've removed tens of thousands of users.
Yeah, but they made the terms of service. See, you've got to start looking at social media like the railroads during Vanderbilt, where at one time he would say, well, the train can't come over my bridge. And that all changed. The government said, no. The right of way is for everybody to use the tracks, even though you own it. I think they called it the corporation then. You had to let everybody use the tracks. It's the same. Today's social media is the railroad of the old days. And that's how it's got to be treated. We need more government involvement that the average person, if you've got a First Amendment, you're allowed to talk. You're allowed to speak your opinion. You get kicked off the internet for speaking your opinion, that's a problem there.
Fair enough. And I mean, obviously, we've heard a lot of people talking about the First Amendment, and, we could talk about this all day, but let's have
When you lose the First Amendment, we've lost democracy. Simple as that. That's it. We don't have freedom of speech, we got a problem. What else you want to talk about?
All right, so
who else we want to aggravate here? Come on.
So back on the local scene.
Tip O'Neill once said, all politics is local.
Right,
Isn't that Tip?
right.
Yep.
So, anyway, so look, let's talk beyond Trump, of course, at the meeting. So, the big point of contention here, I mean, there was a few, but the big one was the COVID vaccination site. It was a $1 million contract for a company based out of Manhattan, and it was denounced largely by Councilman Lovarro, but not just him, members of the public as well, a few at least, that said, look, this is only incorporated in October, they only have 2 people, and you guys basically screwed the pooch on the contract once already. Like, how come you didn't get it right this time? Now, it went through 8-1, And it's actually already up and running based on the remarks from the Health and Human Services Director. But certainly Councilman Lavaro did not have a problem, throwing some punches on this. So what do you make of this whole
Is that where
development?
Fulop just got his shot today? I think Mayor Fulop just got his vaccination.
He was vaccinated this morning,
Is
yes.
did he get it from this organization?
I would assume. I mean, I don't think there's two. So yeah, I think that's the only option for the public.
Well, we have to have the apparatus and the machinery and the infrastructure in place to do these inoculations. So the city can't do it on its own, so they had to go out and get somebody. I'm assuming somebody researched this. Somebody did the due diligence, and I assume there were bids, and this was the qualifying bid. Is that how that worked?
Yeah, I mean, basically, but I mean, you may recall that last month there was a separate bidder, Fix Tech, and that ended up getting pulled by the administration. It turned out one of their sales representatives was convicted and pleaded guilty, not convicted, back in 2015 for fraud, and they ended up pulling that contract, and the whole process had to start from scratch. And people weren't happy with this vendor yet again, but this time it still went through.
Well, we're at the point, we have the vaccines, we need to administer them, so even if there's something shaky about somebody, as long as they can get the needle in the arm and not hurt anybody or get an infection, let's go. I don't know what happened with our local hospitals. Couldn't they have done this?
Well, they're still doing it, but we're going to take a brief word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
We'll be back.
Most women who give birth recover without problems, but any woman can have complications after the birth of a baby. Learn the post-birth warning signs, such as fever, headache, chest pain, shortness of breath, increased bleeding, or thoughts of hurting yourself or someone else. Knowing these can save your life or the life of someone that you love. Trust your instincts. If you feel something is wrong, call and get evaluated by your healthcare provider. If your symptoms get worse or you do not hear back from your physician, call 911 or go to the nearest emergency room.
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Hudson County View live at Uncut, John R. Highness, and we're still with Pat O'Melia, of course, the owner, producer, and host of the Hudson Media Group, where we are right now. So,
Glad to be here.
yes. So anyway, Pat, you were talking about the hospitals. Yeah, I mean, Christ Hospital, the Bayonne Medical Center, Hoboken University Medical Center, who actually just had the vaccinations of their seniors.
Don't forget JC
And
Medical
of course, the
Center.
Medical Center, too.
And you got
Palisades
HRH
Medical
out
Center.
there.
Yeah,
Palisades, yeah, I didn't forget. You always forget Palisades Hospital. That's in Hudson County. It's in North Burgundy.
Yeah. So look, everybody's on board, whether, Hudson and beyond. Every hospital's doing their part and have been doing their part, and, they deserve a lot of credit, of course, throughout this whole pandemic. But anyway, I mean, so to answer your question, yes, the hospitals have been continuing to do that and will do that for as long as they need to, but there needed to be a localized site. As you know, North Bergen, Union City, Weehawken, the list goes on, have all established localized sites, and Jersey City didn't have one yet. So it appeared that time was of the essence.
I don't know why we're not using the senior centers and the community buildings also. But listen, Mayor Fulop was ahead of this curve through the whole pandemic. I'm sure he's taking the proper steps. Do we get the money back from the state or the feds, by the way, the million?
So a quite interesting question. According to the health director, the CARES Act funding had to be used by December 31st of 2020. So anything that wasn't used doesn't go into the reserve or anything. It's just lost. So, I mean, I guess the short answer to your question would be no. But, we'll see what happens in terms of further COVID relief. Obviously, things were in the works. Then the election happened. And,
Well, Biden, the minute he comes in, he's going to open the safe. And all the money's coming out.
You would think so.
That's how it looks. What are we going to talk about locally?
So look.
We're going to talk about, you got Amy.
Yeah,
You got Richie B. We only have one slot open on,
There's only one
Fulop's
slot,
record.
as I mentioned at the top of the program. The mayor has been busy this holiday season, not just buying presents and holiday cheer and all that, but
He
we've
get you a present?
He did.
get me
But his council ticket. So, like you just said, Amy DeGees, as I mentioned earlier, Rich Baggiato also is joining the team, and the only slot left is the Wardy Challenger. And he has already a high-profile endorsement from Congressman Sires. So just your analysis of the recent developments.
I text Mayor Fulop and said, aren't you the apple of the HCDOY now? A lot of, Mayor Fulop, very smart politically. He knows how to read the tea leaves. Yeah, he's 2 or 3 steps ahead of everyone else. I think a lot worked in Fulop's favor with the ICE contract. I think when Robert Menendez Sr. came out and he had an issue with the county commissioners and the county exec about approving the contract. I think that changed everything. I think he upset a lot of people in Hudson County.
Well, you
from
saw the
county.
reaction from the commissioner chair, the freeholder chair at the time,
think-
Anthony Veneri, obviously said you shouldn't parachute in. Also talking to Senator Cory Booker, and that they've never extended their arm to help with this,
Who
which,
cares about Booker?
which the senator,
Bob's one of our guys.
which
He's
Senator
Hudson
Menendez didn't appreciate, didn't agree with, but you remember what
County.
happened.
I think there's a direct connection with that ICE contract when that happened with Bob Menendez Senior and Amy DeGeese joining the ticket, but 4 weeks ago, didn't look like Amy was joining that ticket, and here, boom. She kind of parachuted in all of a sudden, boom, she was there.
Yeah,
I
it came
think
out of
there's
nowhere.
a
I didn't
direct
see it
connection
coming.
there.
I didn't see it coming.
Richie Borgiano joining the ticket, I think it's a good move. I think there was a possibility 4 years ago, and Richie at the last minute decided just to go rogue and go on his own. I think he's got an excellent ticket. I don't think there's gonna be any competition. Because you got Solomon, you got Gatson, you got Lavaro. They're all looking for a head of a ticket to join.
So what do you
And
think?
I don't think, and when Amy joined Team Phillip, Bob Menendez Jr. went, that was it.
So between that and the Sierra's endorsement, you would say the chances of him running are basically zero at this point?
Zero.
All right. I mean, look.
Unless something weird happens with Ward E.
Okay.
But Bob Menendez Jr. has been attacking Mayor Phillip at every turn, so I just, there's some epiphany that occurs, and there's a lot of epiphanies that happen in Hudson County. I think Bob Jr. is done for the next 4 years.
Yes. But he hasn't said that just yet. I mean, he hasn't shown his hand one way or the other officially, and he was very vocal about that vaccination contract we were just talking about. So we'll see. What about
Oh, Dave, what about Billy?
I mean,
Billy's on an island. He's all by himself now.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's going to be an interesting commissioners meeting, and that's another topic we should touch on. So now the commissioners, of course, the former freeholders, now want to limit public portion to 2 hours total and 3 minutes a person, which would cap it at about 40 people per meeting, assuming they all use their 3 minutes. What do you think of this?
Is it just for the Zoom meetings, or is this gonna go forward? So I can understand it for the Zoom meeting. You know, if you wanna go to the council, or the chair, the commissioner meeting in person, fight the elements, trying to find a place to park, and go in there physically and speak to the commissioners, you should be unlimited. But people sitting at home, from Germany calling in and complaining about the commissioner meetings or the ICE contract, yeah, I can see limiting it. If we're gonna limit it just to the remotes.
Yes,
that makes
these rules
sense to me.
specifically apply remote, and
Yeah.
they're actually made
I don't have a
potentially
problem with that.
permissible. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer, but potentially because of changes that were approved by the state in November. Pat, we're going to take one more break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Pinto Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintoproperties.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
You know those times when you need to see the doctor, but you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the Telemed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away. From any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are.
Quality care, no appointment necessary. The doctor is online when you download the Telemed app.
Don't you feel better already?
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Pat Obelia of the Hudson Media Group, of course, he's the president owner. So, Pat,
Do we get paid for being? We don't get coffee.
well, I mean, if you want to write yourself a check, that's your prerogative.
All right, where were we? Talking
So-
about building.
So anyway, the commissioners. So we're going to see that meeting shortly. That's at 4 p.m. today. That's going to be the first reading, which, is not binding. There needs to be a vote, a second reading. But I can imagine there's going to be a lot of angry commenters, as has been the case for most meetings. I don't imagine this will be a quick one, but I think, as you've alluded to, it's not going to be a very surprising vote. I think it's an
No.
8-1.
Yeah, I can almost tell you, they will vote against it. But you and I have covered council meetings that went to 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, where you would have 80 people.
Yeah.
They all had the same opinion, all voicing the same. I get it. I get it after the 14th person or the 20th person. Do I need to hear 100? And it's not fair that somebody in the back wants to talk about a dog walk or something like that. We're assuming everybody has the same reason they want to speak. But yeah, this one person wants to talk about a dog walk. He's got 100 people in front complaining about something else. It's a whole different world with the remote. Once we get out of the remote, things will start to settle down. But yeah, you got people from all over the state, actually globally. You had people from Germany calling it. They're sitting home in their underwear, looking at their webcam and voicing their opinions. For all we know, they're going to be shut-ins. But when you get back to being in person, then it all changes.
Right. Well, look,
Ocean County, I think they limit it to 25% of the auditorium. They're doing it in person. You say your piece and you're out of there.
well, look, for better or for worse, I think, again, as we just touched on it, this thing is going to pass on second reading, whenever it comes to second reading, I imagine 2 weeks from today. The Jersey Journal did an editorial coming out against, but...
They kind of changed their attitude also, the Jersey Journal. They've been more of a tack journalism in the last month or so, going heavily after Mayor Sacco, heavily after Mayor Fulop, and even Tom DeGeese. There seems to be a change, an attitude change with the Jersey Journal.
Well, they've certainly had a lot more content than I'm used to seeing from them, but
But they have no advertisement, not one ad in the last few days.
yeah, I mean, not that I'm aware of, but I don't want to get bogged down in that, Pat. I mean, we got a lot to talk
I'm just
about.
trying to give you topics.
I got plenty.
Okay.
But so look, I mean, beyond that, let's also talk, 1A, 1B, 1C, back on COVID. So a lot of people are confused about the tiers, and this of course goes beyond Hudson, but it is important because a lot of people I know are asking me, am I eligible to go to Hoboken? Can I go to Kearney? And I know you were somebody that applied to get vaccinated.
I volunteered,
early. Yeah.
way ahead of the approval of the vaccine. From what I understand, they're not asking for ID. You make your appointment, you show up. I've heard stories where they've thrown the vaccine away because people didn't show up. And once you get the first shot, you gotta make sure you go back for that second one. If the person is in line, you got a vaccine, give it to the person. That's it. Open the centers. I don't even know if you need appointments. Just line them up, let's get it done.
Well, it sounds like the State Department of Health, they've set up these tiers like I just outlined.
And we're in the next group, media.
Yes, 1C's in the next
We're
group.
important, so we got ahead of everybody.
Apparently more important than some based on this tier that was established by the Department of Health. But
My wife is going online, she still can't get the appointment.
Well,
It keeps crashing on her.
yeah, I saw that. I mean, they opened the portal prematurely. Apparently, it was supposed to just be for healthcare professionals, but they didn't say that, and so then everyone and their mother tried to log on, and that was just too.
Oh, is that what happened
That was just too much for it to handle. I believe that it's now working better, but to be honest, I haven't tried to log on, so I couldn't say for certain. By the way, Pat, to backtrack for one moment, I forgot to mention there was a report. The Physicians of Human Rights, affiliated with Harvard in some fashion, did a report looking at 22 facilities that have ICE detention, one of which was Hudson, and they're claiming there was 23.5-hour daily lockdowns. They're also claiming there was no soap, toilet paper, hand sanitizer, or mattresses in the medical isolation, and ICE has denied this. The county has denied this. But, we keep hearing these allegations, whether it be from this group, whether it be from the activists, that the conditions are just not up to par. So what's your take on this latest development?
I know the county over the last 4 years has really changed how the Hudson County Jail is operated, the management team in there. They improved the medical. I don't see why they wouldn't have soap or toilet paper. I think Tom DeGeese and the commissioners, they do a pretty damn good job county-wise. I just don't see, again, these are allegations, I just don't see them being true.
All right, and just to add clarity to that point, so this was 50 people, all people that were in ICE detention in one facility, 18 years and up, and they were interviewed over the phone for an hour or two and paid with or at least offered to be paid with a $40 gift card. So, that's where it stands today. We'll see what happens.
How'd they come up with $40?
It's a good question. Don't know the
It's
answer.
$50. What's $40?
But look, on that, we were going
You
to
got
hear.
25 seconds.
Okay, well, look, what else? I mean, beyond that,
Got 25 seconds. What can we do?
not much.
Why don't we just look at the camera?
We're going to take one more break.
We're
We'll
gonna
be
take a
right
break?
back.
Okay.
Right back.
Stevens
Am I
Jersey
the whole
City
show?
Ford,
We got
located
anything
right off
else?
of NJ 440 North. across the Hudson Mall is your one-stop for all your automotive needs. Check out Ford's latest models like the 2020 Ford Fusion with its stylish looks and hybrid options, or the unparalleled high-performance 2020 Ford Mustang. The 2020 Ford F-150 Raptor is ready for those rugged off-road terrains with trail control. Need a mid-sized truck for your towing and hauling? The 2020 Ford Ranger will deliver. The 2020 Ford Escape is a luxury SUV that was made for comfort and adventure on the go. Returning is Ford's legendary Bronco, which takes you back to the true meaning of off-roading. They are now available for pre-order in our showroom or on our website. Let us help you find your next vehicle. Stevens, Jersey City Ford, 201-432-7272.
Hudson County Chowder Height said we're still with Pat Opelia. So Pat, as you just mentioned to me off camera here, there's no shortage of news. I mean, we've been gone for a few weeks, as I said at the top. So just a couple of things, just
You
real
and I
quick.
can sit and talk for hours of what's going on in Hudson County.
I would hope so.
You can go where
I
you
would
want
think
to go,
so.
Hoboken, North Bergen,
Well, look, I mean, we
retirements you got going on?
yeah, I mean, look, let's just real quick. So Police Chief Michael Kelly, officially on the books, is done on February 1st. Any guesses, any hypotheses on a successor?
Well, you got to look at Edgar Martinez, Joe Santiago in the north. I think Joe would make an excellent chief. Now, pull up, I'm sure he's going through the resumes. And Mike Kelly didn't embarrass us. We had situations with other chiefs in the past. I think Philip has learned his lesson. I think he does more due diligence on who's going to be the chief. We're not going to have another Zaki situation or past chiefs. I think Mike Kelly was a cop's cop. He had the respect of the force. He had the respect of City Hall, Shea. Great cop.
All right. Now,
And a dog person, too. Dog guy. He always had his dog with him.
okay,
He always had his German
was
Shepherd.
unaware of that. Interesting, I suppose.
Big guy. He was in the studio. He was doing shows here for a while. Great guy.
All right.
Right. Great. I hope he has a great life in retirement.
All right, very good, Pat. Now, also, another big one, Chris Peonies, the Township Administrator in North Bergen. As long as anyone can remember, at least 30 years,
I
right?
don't know what Sacco's going to do without Chris Finisi.
He's retiring in June, giving plenty of notice, but those are some big shoes to fill, I would say.
That's Nick Sacco's right and left hand. I mean, he's what you call the smartest guy in the room. Yeah, Chris Finisi. He knows everything. He knows municipal government. He knows state government. He knows how to get money out of Trenton. He knows development. He knows zoning. He's really a municipal genius, and Nick Sacco is going to miss him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a pretty fair assessment, but, again, very big shoes to fill.
Who do we poach from some other municipality for North Bergen?
It's a good question. I mean, there's some rumors, but it's early, so I'm not going to throw anything out there just yet.
Well, I've said it many times to many mayors. Whatever Nick Sacco does today, you do tomorrow. So I'm sure Sacco will find a very credible.
I'm sure they'll find a contingency.
What is his title anyway? Was it BA? Was he Mr. Everything or
I think he's
something? Was
Township
he
Administrator,
BA?
but yeah,
Administrator?
certainly he goes above and beyond, has gone
Yes.
above and beyond. Now, another thing, we haven't really talked a whole lot about Hoboken, but we saw just over a month ago, Ruben Ramos, the 4th Ward Councilman, file paperwork that he was going to at least explore a run for mayor, but we haven't really heard much since then. So do you think that he's going to see this thing through?
Well, Ruben's already beat Robbie once for assembly. They
Yeah.
went head-to-head before.
It's a different animal,
This
though.
is
He was on the
Hoboken,
line.
but you see, Hoboken will have a lot of intrigue. Jersey City, it's going to be full of, and a bunch of solo guys trying to pick off, a ward seat. You're going to have a lot of activity in Hoboken. Do you have Robbie DeFusco, Ruben, maybe Fisher, Jen maybe she run? If you get too many tickets, then the runoff becomes interesting.
Yeah, I mean, my prediction at the end of last year was 4 candidates, 4 known entity candidates. You think that's right?
Yeah, it's Hoboken. It's hard to tell.
You never know until you get
Where's
there.
is there going to be a progressive Dem candidate now?
I'm not sure, but, in 2017, Ron Batista ran, and since then he's established himself as a progressive, a member of the Hudson County Progressive
Movement,
Democrats, and he's part of that group. I believe he founded that group, actually, and he's been adamantly speaking out against ICE and other issues along those lines. So, if he ran again or somebody from that group ran, I wouldn't be surprised.
Who gets the nod from the HCDO? Even though it's nonpartisan, but who?
It's tough to say, but I mean, if I would assume it's the only people that are in serious play would be Councilman Ramos or Councilman DeFusco.
You don't think Robbie could get it if he stands on his head in North Hudson here with some of the power players?
I mean, I think.
And Robbie would stand on his head.
I think it would be a hard sell, but I don't know that he needs it. I mean, COVID's been a big boost for him, and he is very popular as a result of the proactive stance of the city, so.
Unless Robbie gets the HCDO backing, he'll finish third, and I don't know who 1 and 2 was.
Well, that's a bold prediction, but we're going to have to expand on that next time. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week. We'll hope you have a nice, enjoyable 7 days.